A circular rod of diameter d and length 3d is subjected to a compressive force F acting at the top point as shown below. Calculate the stress at the bottommost support point A. They have given a cantilever beam and they have asked the stress at the bottom point A at this point particularly. It is a 1993 gate 2 mark question, and you can see that the force is away from the centroid, that is from the center of this cross section. So it is actually an eccentrically loaded axial load. So it will be causing a couple and axial force. Okay, here you can see that it is causing an axial compressive force and a moment Fd by 2, F into distance from the centroid, that is d by 2. So the moment will be Fd by 2 and the axial compressive force will be F. It is actually an engineering mechanics concept. Okay, the stress at A will be due to these two type of loading, that is the axial compressive stress and a bending stress. This compressive stress will be minus F by pi by 4 d squared. Since it is compressive, we are giving the negative sign, and we know that force per unit area. So force divided by area of the circular cross section, it is pi by 4 d squared. So minus F by pi by 4 d squared. While this bending will be causing a tensile loading in the bottom fiber and a compressive loading on the top fiber. So since it is tensile bending, it is positive. So moment into y, that is distance of the fiber. Actually it is bottommost fiber, so the distance of this fiber from the centroid is d by 2 divided by the moment of inertia of this cross section, which is pi by 64 d power 4. We know that sigma b by y is equal to m by I. So sigma b is equal to m into y by I. M is Fd by 2 and d by 2 refers to the distance of the bottommost fiber, that is the point at which stress is to be found from the centroid. So d by 2 divided by pi by 64 d power 4, we will be getting one value, and here we will be getting another value. If you just sum up both the values, you will be getting 12f by pi d square, which is the answer. Two shafts A and B are made of the same material. The diameter of shaft B is twice that of shaft A. The ratio of power which can be transmitted by shaft A to that of shaft B is, they have asked the ratio of power which can be transmitted by A to B. If the maximum shear stress remains the same, they have given a condition that the maximum shear stress remains the same. We know that power is equal to torque into omega. So before going this concept, this question is being asked in a 1994 gate question for 2 marks. Okay, we know that power is equal to torque into omega. Since from shaft A it is transferred to shaft B, both will be having the same angular velocity. So omega is constant. So we can write that power is directly proportional to the torque. So power of A by power of B is directly proportional to torque of A by torque of B. We know that T max is equal to tau max into ZP. This is based on a circular shaft under pure torsion equation, which we will be discussing in the upcoming video. In the upcoming questions. Also, you just remember that T max by J is equal to tau max by R, which results in T max is equal to tau max into ZP. So it eventually becomes that TA is directly proportional to ZPA since the maximum shear stress is constant. So ZPA by ZPB. We know that the polar section modulus for a circular cross section is pi by 16 d cube. For shaft A it is d, and for shaft B it is 2 times of the dia of shaft B. So it will be the diameter of shaft B is twice that of shaft A, so it will be 2d because d is the dia of shaft A. I have assumed it. Here I have mentioned it. So it will be pi by 16 d cube by pi by 16 2d the whole cube, which eventually comes out to be 1 by 8. Maximum shear stress developed on the surface of a solid circular shaft under pure torsion is 240 megapascal. If the shaft diameter is doubled, then the maximum shear stress developed corresponding to the same torque will be. Here the condition is that the torque is the same. It is a 2003 gate 1 mark question. Always in the case of torsion of shafts, you will be using all these 3 equations. We must remember that for a circular shaft under pure torsion, these 3 equations are valid. T by J is equal to tau max by R naught is equal to G theta by L, where T by J, where T refers to the torque applied and J refers to the polar moment of inertia of the cross section. Tau max refers to the maximum shear stress occurring on the shaft, which is actually at the periphery of the shaft. R naught refers to the outer radius. Tau max occurs at the outer radius only. Okay. G is referred to as the shear modulus. Theta is the angle of twist or the angular deflection, where L refers to the length of the particular cross section considered from the fixed end. So tau max is equal to T by ZP. From this T by J is equal to tau max by R naught, we can derive T by ZP. ZP is J by R naught, which is polar moment of inertia divided by the distance of the farthest fiber from the centroid, that is at the center point. Okay, it will be tau max inversely proportional to ZP since torque is same. So we know that ZP is pi by 16 d cube, which comes out to be pi by 16 constant. So tau max is inversely proportional to d cube. So if the dia is doubled, then it will be reducing by cube times of dia. Yes, cube times of dia. So it will be 1 by 8 of the actual shear stress. Actual stress is 240, 1 by 8 will be 30 megapascal. A torque of 1 Newton meter is transmitted through a stepped shaft as shown in the figure. The torsional stiffness of individual sections of lengths Mn, No and Op are 20 Newton meter per radian, 30 Newton meter per radian and 60 Newton meter per radian respectively. The angular deflection between the ends M and P of the shaft is, they have asked the total angular deflection of this particular setup, that is for this whole bar. It is a 2004 1 mark. Here you can see that the bars are in series. Consider M, N, N, O and OP as different bars connected in series. So it can be referred to as a compound bar or a series bar. In such a case of compound bar or a series bar, theta is actually cumulative of theta in each bar. That is theta Mn plus theta No plus theta OP. That is angular deflection of the whole shaft is equal to angular deflection due to each, angular deflection occurring at each bar. Okay, theta is TL by Gj. As we have discussed, I have used the torsion equation, pure torsion equation on a circular shaft. So we must know what is torsional stiffness. Actually, torsional stiffness is referred to as T by theta, torque by angle of twist or angular deflection. So from this you can derive that T by theta is equal to Gj by L. They have given Gj by L. So Gj by L is being given and the torque is applied at the ends. When a compound bar is applied with the loading at the end, the whole bar will be subjected to the same loading and a constant loading. I have shown it here. Since load is applied at ends only, Tmn is equal to Tno is equal to Top is equal to 1 Newton meter. So we know that theta is cumulative. So theta mp is equal to theta mn plus theta no plus theta op. And just by substituting torque by Gj by L, we will be getting theta. So torque is 1 divided by Gj by L, which is 20 and 30 and 60. So 1 by 20 plus 1 by 30 plus 1 by 60. We will be finally getting 0.1 radian. For a circular shaft of diameter d subjected to torque T, the maximum value of the shear stresses. As we have discussed earlier, the maximum shear stress occurs at the periphery of the shaft, that is at the outer radius. It is actually a 2006 1 mark question. So from the torsion equation, we can derive that tau max is equal to T into d by 2, that is distance of the farthest fiber, which is d by 2 divided by J, that is polar moment of inertia of the circular shaft, that is pi by 32 into d power 4. You will be getting 16t by pi d cube. Remember this directly because this will be useful in many occasions. A solid shaft of diameter d and length L is fixed at both the ends. So it is a fixed-in beam or a built-in beam or an encasted beam. It can be named in these three ways. A torque T naught is applied at a distance L by 4 from the left end, as shown in the figure given below. The maximum shear stress in the shaft is, they have asked the maximum shear stress in the shaft. In a hurry, we should not just consider T naught, and we know that 16t by pi d cube is the maximum, so you should not select A. This is where they catch you. That is, this will make us in getting a negative mark. Okay, remember and be careful, since the loading is in the mid of the bar. Due to reactions, the actual load acting on this whole bar will be different. Okay, the maximum shear stress in the shaft. They have asked the maximum shear stress in the shaft. It is a 2009 gate 2 mark question. Okay, we know that generally built-in beams are statically indeterminate. So we need to use we need to use the compatibility equations. So TL plus TR is equal to T naught is the static equilibrium equation, which is only possible equation here. That is torque on the left support and torque on the right support is equal to the torque applied, and the compatibility equation is summation of angular deflections is equal to 0, which is given as due to this left support there will be TL here, which is TL into L by 4 by GJ plus TL minus T naught. Here it will be TL minus T naught. Instead of TR, I am using TL minus T naught. TL minus T naught into 3L by 4 divided by GJ is equal to 0. Just by solving these two equations, you will be getting TL is equal to 3 T naught by 4 and TR is equal to T naught by 4. Thus, T max is equal to 3 T naught by 4. From these two values, that is, it is clear that TL is 3 T naught by 4. So, along this L by 4 whole length, that is along L by 4 alone, you will be getting 3 T naught by 4 as the torque acting, while T naught by 4 will be the torque acting here. Why we have applied T naught? Why we are getting lesser than that? The reason is you are fixing at both the ends. So it will be restricting some of the torque applied. So you'll be getting a lesser torque. So we are getting 3 T naught by 4 to be the maximum torque. We know that tau max is equal to 16 T max by pi d cube. Instead of T max, just substitute 3 T naught by 4. You'll be getting 12 T naught by pi d cube. A torque T is applied at the free end of a stepped rod of circular cross section as shown in the figure. The shear modulus of the material of the rod is G. The expression for D to produce an angular twist theta at the free end is to produce theta, they have asked the D. Okay, it is a 2011 gate 2 mark question, and we know that in case of a compound bar, that is a bar in series, we will be considering theta to be the cumulative of the theta in both the bars. That is a bar of length L and diameter 2D and another bar of length L by 2 and diameter D. Since they have asked at the free end, we need to find the theta at this end, at the end of this first bar, and the theta at the end of the next bar. So by adding these two theta, you will be getting the theta at the final end. So theta 1 is given as TL by GJ. We know that J is pi by 32 into D power 4. So just by substituting L for L and 2D for D, we will be getting theta 1 at this end, that is at the point of junction, and at the cross section at the end you will be getting T into, instead of L you have to substitute L by 2 and instead of D you have to substitute D. So you will be getting 16 TL by pi GD power 4, and for this bar you will be getting 2 TL by pi GD power 4. Adding you will be getting 18 TL by pi GD power 4. So D power 4 goes on the left hand side and right hand side theta will be moving down. So you will be getting 18 TL by pi theta G, the whole power 1 by 4. Two solid circular shafts of radii R1 and R2 are subjected to the same torque. The maximum shear stresses developed in the two shafts are tau 1 and tau 2. If R1 by R2 is equal to 2, then tau 2 by tau 1 is. They have asked the ratio of the maximum shear stresses developed in the shaft. It is a 2014 set 3 question being asked for 1 mark. We know that tau 2 is equal to T2 by ZP2. That is, shear stress is equal to torque divided by the polar section modulus. Okay. Now just by finding the ratio, that is tau 2 by tau 1 is equal to T2 by ZP2 divided by T1 by ZP1. We know that there is same torque in both the cases. So you'll be getting tau 2 by tau 1 is equal to ZP1 by ZP2. ZP1 is calculated as pi by 16 D1 cube and ZP2 is pi by 16 D2 cube. So we know that R1 by R2 is equal to 2. So we are converting this diameter into radius. Pi by 16 cancels out. And instead of D1, we are substituting 2R1 divided by 2R2 the whole cube. So you'll be getting R1 by R2 the whole cube. R1 by R2 is given as 2. So 2 the whole cube, it will be 8. Consider a stepped shaft subjected to a twisting moment applied at B as shown in the figure. Assume shear modulus G is equal to 77 gigapascal. The angle of twist at C in degrees is, they have asked the angle of twist, that is angular deflection at C. Okay, it is also a stepped bar, that is a compound bar or a series bar. It is a 2015 set 1 question being asked for 1 mark. Here you can see that loading is at the midpoint. So it is clear that the torque is not acting in this section. It is actually acting in this section. Since there is a restriction, there will be torque in this section. But here there is no restriction. This torque will not be acting here. And here the torque will be 0. So it is clear that in BC member, torque is 0. And we know that in case of compound bars, theta is the cumulative of theta B and theta C. Since there is no torque, we know that theta is equal to TL by GJ. Since there is no torque, theta BC will be 0. So theta C will be equal to theta B. Here what will be the angle of twist? The same will be at this point also, at this cross section also. So theta C is equal to theta B is equal to TL by GJ. Just by substituting, don't substitute 1000, we have to substitute just 500, because what the twist occurring at this cross section will be the twist occurring at this section also. So just substitute T into L by Gj, where T is 10 Newton meter and L is 500 millimeter and G is 77 gigapascal. Convert it into millimeters, that is 77 into 1000 megapascal, and J is pi by 32 d power 4. We know that d is 20 mm. So substitute all these values, you will be getting theta C. Remember, you will be getting in radians. They have asked in degrees. So convert it into degrees, you will be getting 0.2368. A hollow shaft D0 is equal to 2di, where D0 and di are the outer and inner diameters respectively, needs to transmit 20 kilowatt power at 3000 rpm. If the maximum permissible shear stress is 30 megapascal D0 is, they have asked to design the shaft, that is by determining the outer diameter. They are asking to design a shaft. Okay, it is a 2015 set 2 question being asked for 2 marks. We know that power is equal to torque into omega. Omega is angular velocity, which is given as 2 pi n by 60, where n refers to the RPM. We know that T is equal to tau per into ZP, which we have discussed earlier, and this remains the same in all cases of torsion of shafts. That is pure torsion of circular shafts. Tau per into ZP. Tau per, sometimes tau max. Okay, here it is permissible maximum, so it may be tau per or tau max. ZP hollow, that is polar section modulus of a hollow circular shaft, is given as pi by 16 d0 cube, that is outer diameter whole cube, into 1 minus k power 4, where k is the ratio of inner diameter to outer diameter. The another way of representing this formula is that pi by 32 d0 power 4 minus di power 4 divided by d0 by 2, that is jp divided by r0. Jp refers to the polar moment of inertia of the hollow circular shaft divided by r0, the outer radius. Polar circular moment of inertia of a circular shaft is pi by 32 d0 power 4 minus di power 4 divided by the outer radius, which is d0 by 2. You will be getting this formula again. Try to remember this formula, because this will be useful in many cases, because there is a very high possibility of giving this ratio di by d0 or d0 by di. In such a case, you can be using this directly. Otherwise, you have to substitute in a different manner and you will be requiring another calculation. So try to remember this formula, ZP hollow. From these equations, we can derive this equation as 60p into 2 pi n is equal to tau per into pi by 16 d0 cube into 1 minus k power 4. Just by substituting all the other values given, you can find the cube of a diameter. And just by taking cube root, you will be getting the diameter to be 22.59 mm is the actual calculation. And since it is a multi-option question, you can see that 22.58 corresponds to this. So B is the right answer.